I recently received this Mepro Tru-dot RDS rifle sight. I've heard conflicting stories about the battery life, so I thought I'd check it out. Some folks say, and it appears to have been widely reported, that it can run for 15,000 to 18,000 hours. Sometimes that figure is said to include help from the auto-off system, and sometimes it's said to be further extended by it. Other folks have reported battery exhaustion in as little as a few months or so. Now, a typical alkaline AA battery will have an ideal capacity of 2,800 milliamp hours or so, assuming low current at room temperature. A lithium battery may provide around 3,000 milliamp hours. Either way, battery life can be calculated if the current is known. I measured the current required by the sight in all 6 of its operating modes. That is settings 0 through 6 and when it's asleep. And calculated the number of hours of operation a 3,000 milliamp hour battery would provide. Now the battery goes in this tubular compartment, and the cap connects the positive terminal to the body of the sight. I used a rubber band like that to hold the battery in and connect one of the meter terminals to the battery, like so. Then I just clipped the other meter terminal to the body of the sight to complete the circuit. There we go. Now in setting 0, which is off, no current was measured, like you'd think. In setting 1, which is high, the current was 1.489 milliamps. Now that works out to 2,014 hours, or 84 days. In setting 2, which is medium, the current was 1.042 milliamps. Now that's 2,879 hours, or 120 days. On setting 3, which is low, the current was 695 microamps, and that works out to 4,317 hours, or 180 days. On setting 4, which is for night vision, like a night vision mode, you know, if you're using night vision gear, the current was 563 microamps. That's 5,329 hours, or 222 days. I also sang softly to the sight until it fell asleep, which I won't repeat here. But in sleep mode, the current was 252 microamps. That's 11,904 hours, or 496 days. Now, it's kind of hard to get a sense of how the sleep function might work out in a typical storage situation. It's very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Just setting a tool down on the table the sight was resting on woke it up. As a sort of worst case scenario, I figured out what the battery life might be if the sight were asleep only 60% of the time. Setting 3 is bright enough for me indoors, even with plenty of artificial light, so I went with that. So 695 microamps, 40% of the time, and 252 microamps, 60% of the time, is equivalent to an average current of 429 microamps. So that's 6,990 hours, or 291 days. Now, based on that, I would be comfortable leaving the sight on in setting 3 and replacing the battery, say, every 6 months. Now, if a better sleep-wake ratio can be assumed, I would consider replacing the battery only once a year. So, could the sight possibly last 15,000 hours on one battery? Sleep mode requires the least current, for that measurement, my cumulative measurement error could be as high as 10%. So let's assume the best case scenario and say that the actual current in sleep mode is only 227 microamps. Now, that could be provided for 15,000 hours by a battery having a capacity of 3,400 milliamp hours. I don't know where to get one, but I can believe that it's possible to source a fancy AA battery with that capacity. It's a stretch, but plausible. So where did the 15,000 hour number even come from anyway? I see it on a bunch of blogs and in posts on forums, but I can't find any specific battery life claims from Mepro or the Mako group other than thousands of hours, which is certainly true. There's nothing on the box or in the manual either. So I hope this video has been interesting and informative, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, and if this is the kind of thing you're into, hit that subscribe button.